Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Dayspring Discussions. I'm your host Sean McGahee, and this is a show where we talk about movies, TV, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books. If you geek out about it, we're going to talk about it. You can listen to Dayspring Discussions on iTunes, YouTube, Podomatic, and Patreon, and you can find Dayspring Discussions on the Facebook group, Twitter account, and dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. Well, happy Tuesday everyone. Hope you all enjoyed your weekend. I had a pretty nice one myself. But time to get back to business. So, as far as the schedule of the shows, I know I've tried to commit it to 3 days a week. I didn't get a show out Thursday, so I didn't do my comics that I read last week, so I do apologize. My actual work schedule changes from week to week, so that's sometimes it's a little difficult for me. So, I really want to do 3 shows a week, and I think I figured out maybe I can pull that off Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And I think it's better that way because not a lot of news comes out on the weekend, so I'll get kind of the backsplash of last week's or Monday's from Tuesday, finish it up on Thursday with some comic reviews, stuff like that. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to commit to Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Don't hold me to it, but that's when the shows are going to happen, guys. So if you were a regular viewer or listener, which I hope you are, that's what I'm going to try to plan. So we'll go from there. Well, another thing I hope you guys saw was the Golden Globes. Those were on Sunday. Now, for me, a few years ago, I kind of actually figured out or learned how the whole awards work as far as the Golden Globes versus the Oscars and the Emmys and all that stuff. The Emmys and the Oscars are voted by hundreds of people working in the industry. Actors, producers, directors, writers. They're their own peers and people who know the industry. So that's awesome. The Golden Globes, however, are about 50 members of the Hollywood Foreign Press. So it's not really as prestigious as getting a Golden Globe compared to an Oscar or an Emmy. It's still nice to get an award, of course. It's still nice that people who see movies and TV all the time and watch so much of it hold you in such high regard. So it is still kind of an honor in that respect. But the Oscars and the Emmys are much more people voting, so I feel like that's a little bit more up on a pedestal. Plus the fact that the Golden Globes, I'm sorry, but when you put Get Out, a suspense horror film, in your comedy musical category, how do you expect me to take you seriously? Really, how do you expect me to? So, at that event, I thought about not watching the Golden Globes, but, I wanted to check it out because it is still a fun show. No matter how seriously you take it, it's still fun to watch. It had some good moments. Of course, Oprah's speech is what everyone's talking about in that regard. And then it was funny right afterwards. You had Natalie Portman say the comment, which if you don't know what I'm talking about, go online, check that out. I find it rather hilarious. One thing that was kind of a highlight for me was Ewan McGregor was there because he was nominated for Best Actor in a Limited Series, and he won for Fargo. But he was sporting a really nice beard and a nice clean head of hair. Exactly what he looks like as Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. Now, there have been rumors flying around about Obi-Wan's spinoff going to be the next spinoff film. We were supposed to get an announcement about that back in July, according to Kathleen Kennedy. Here we are in January. Nothing's been said. Whether Lucasfilm is now a little gun-shy because of the mixed reviews of The Last Jedi, I don't know. Maybe they're waiting to see how people respond to Solo, but a lot of people want an Obi-Wan spin-off movie. I am one of them. And if this is an indication or kind of a hint that they're going to start working on it, I'm all for it. I'm all about an Obi-Wan movie. I cannot wait. Ewan McGregor, I think he really needs to redeem the character. Not that he was horrible in the prequels. I think he was the best part of those prequel films. But to get his own movie, to look at a movie that people can see him as Obi-Wan Kenobi and say, yeah, that's a good movie, I think it's something he deserves as an actor and as that character because, like I said, he was the best part of those prequel films. Okay, guys, so moving on to the actual show. I got 2 topics I'm going to talk about briefly here today. You guys fire back on the Facebook group and on the Gmail account and let me know what you think. Throw in your opinions, of course, because this is a discussion, guys. We must discuss these things. It's not just me talking to a microphone, okay? Okay, probably the biggest news that came out within the last 6 days or so was the Warner Brothers shakeup. So after the so-called disaster that is Justice League, Warner Brothers has decided to shake things up in regards to their DC films, which I think is a good thing. Now, originally, they had tapped John Berg to kind of lead this project, the DC films, in conjunction with Jeff Johns. So Warner Brothers has announced that they are getting rid of John Berg and bringing in New Line executive Walter Hamada. Hamada is most known for executive producing films like It and the Conjuring film universe as well, so he has a very close tie to the horror element, as well as being a close friend to Aquaman director James Wan. Warner's president and chief content officer Toby Emmerich said, quote, Walter is creative, resourceful, and committed to excellence and will bring those qualities to his oversight of our superhero films. He's a terrific executive producer and served as producer on 2 of the summer's most popular films, New Line's It and Annabelle Creation. I'm confident Walter and Jeff will deliver films that will resonate with both broad global audiences as well as DC fanboys and fangirls. Walter's a great addition to the Warner Brothers production team, and I look forward to working with him in his new post. Now, Jeff Johns, DC's chief creative officer, is still going to be involved with the films. He didn't lose his job. I don't think anything's changed as far as he is. He's also an acclaimed DC Comics writer, so I personally don't want to see him be gone because he's Jeff Johns. He's one of my favorite writers of all time. So I definitely think it's good to keep him in development, as well as the fact that he has a story credit in 2 working DC films. That's Wonder Woman 2 and Green Lantern Corps. So keeping him in there, I think that's a fine idea. Now, in regards to Hamada, yes, he's had some success with It and the Conjuring universe, but let's not forget as well the 2013 film 47 Ronin, which was a colossal failure for New Line. Warner Brothers has been in a bit of disarray ever since the disappointing numbers for Justice League. Everyone can tell from this cinematic universe, it has not had a singular voice. Even coming down to Justice League, where you had Zack Snyder, who left the project before he got fired pretty much, and Joss Whedon coming in and changing things. All this time, ever since Man of Steel or Batman v Superman, there has not been a singular person calling the shots. This looks like Hamada is going to be the one to do that. I'm not a horror guy. People know me, I don't really like horror films. It looks interesting. I never saw it, but it looked like it's the film I wanted to see. And the Conjuring and Annabelle movies, I have no interest in seeing at all. So I don't really have a lot to say about Hamada and his talent and what he can do. But if you look at the films he has done, for the most part, have been successful. He's been able to produce something that makes money. And that's fine. That's what a studio is supposed to do. They're supposed to make money. So getting someone who has a track record of making money is fine. I like the fact that they're keeping Jeff Johns. To me, being a comic guy and having read Jeff Johns for over a decade now, he can tell a story. So I think if you can have Johns focus on the story elements and get that together, because let's not forget, he's the one that pretty much helped Patty Jenkins write the first Wonder Woman movie. And we all love that. So keep him in there and then have Hamada almost be like the check guy, where he makes sure that everything looks okay and not too far out there, I guess, is kind of what I'm hoping to be like. That's my dream. I know Hamada is probably going to be more involved than I actually think, but in any event, we all know that the DC movies need to change. We've gotten so many announcements on so many movies that have not even tried to get in development right now. It's just one big mess. It's like they announce a movie and you really can't take them seriously. The only films that we know that are in production are Aquaman. That's coming out end of this year. It's already been shot. It's in post-production. We know that one's definitely coming out. We also got release dates for Shazam, starring Zachary Levi, and Wonder Woman 2. Now, those have not gone in production yet. They're in pre-production right now. Whether those go into production after everything changes over, I don't know. But those are the 3 solid films that they have release dates and they're doing pre-production on. Other ones that have been talked about include a Flashpoint, Green Lantern Corps, Suicide Squad 2, Batgirl, Man of Steel 2, Harley Quinn spin-off films, and of course the Matt Reeves Batman film, which a couple days ago Matt Reeves did say he does have the story outlined for, and he's going to start working on the script. This guy was hired, what, 2 years ago? And he's just getting to the freaking script? Dude, War of the Planet of the Apes was 6 months ago. You should have been writing the script 6 months ago. Sorry, little outburst there. Just had to say my little frustration. But in any event, there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes with Warner Brothers. And we haven't even talked about the biggest part that needs to be taken care of, which is there was a story that came out about a month ago or so, right after Justice League. Kevin Tsujihara, Warner Brothers CEO, and several other higher-up executives released Justice League knowing that it really wasn't quite the quality it should have been, simply because they wanted to take that money to get their bonuses at the end of the year. They put their own personal interest ahead of the interest of the studio they're supposed to be making successful. None of those higher-ups have changed as far as I know. And that's where the problem lies. You can take out the head of the weed, but if the roots are still there, it's just going to continue to grow back, okay? You have to get to the base of the problem of why Justice League failed. It's people higher up making bad decisions simply because, oh, it'll make money. You know, that's, of course, it's a studio. You want to make money, but think how much more money it would have made if it would have been a good film, okay? It's Justice League. It should have made $1 billion easy, but it didn't. Why? Because way back to Batman v Superman and possibly Man of Steel, I might give Man of Steel a pass. I'm not a fan of the film, but the decision-making process, starting with Batman v Superman, going all the way to Justice League, taking Wonder Woman out of it, which I'll talk about in a sec, has been the wrong decision. Okay? The only good thing they did, I feel like, was A, release an ultimate cut of Batman v Superman, because I enjoyed the ultimate cut, actually. Why that couldn't have been the theatrical cut, they wanted an extra 30 minutes of each screening, which was stupid. And then Wonder Woman was Patty Jenkins. That was all Patty Jenkins. She fought. And you can tell from everything we've seen else in these DC movies, she had to fight to keep the studio out of Wonder Woman. She had to fight to keep her vision, to keep the film that she wanted to make, and to that, I applaud her, and I hope she continues to fight for Wonder Woman 2. And then, of course, Justice League. They were already thinking about throwing Zack Snyder out because of Batman v Superman. My thoughts on it, though, is that after seeing the ultimate cut of Batman v Superman, like, I was cursing Zack Snyder's name after I saw the theatrical version of Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. Thought it was shit, especially after Man of Steel, which I didn't like either. Both Zack Snyder films, I didn't like either of them. I was cursing his name. I was so unexcited for Justice League because Zack Snyder was directing. Then I saw the ultimate cut of Batman v Superman. And it's kind of like the director's cut of what Zack Snyder wanted. And in that, I had to take a step back, give an apology to Zack Snyder, and say, you know what? If you could do what you actually want to do, I might have a little faith in Justice League. But by then, the wheels were already turning. Not only was the studio thinking about getting rid of him, he also had that terrible tragedy happen to him and his family, which I totally, sympathize for. Joss Whedon stepped in, and of course, Joss Whedon and Zack Snyder, totally two different directors, different tones. You can see that in the film. But Joss Whedon, thank God, you can tell, minus the mustache, gave us the Superman we wanted, the Superman we deserved, the Superman we should have had. So to that I say, where the hell's the Man of Steel announcement? Regardless of what people said about Justice League, everyone can agree we got the Superman we finally wanted with Man of Steel. Everyone loved how Henry Cavill is going to play the character, hopefully from this point on. So where the hell is the Man of Steel announcement? That should have been your first announcement after Justice League, okay? But no. No, you're busy diddling around with Batfleck and Matt Reeves and Harley Quinn spin-off films. My God, why, man? Why? Ugh. The frustration is just a little too much for me. I do apologize. Anyway, let me get back to the root of this. Walter Hamada taking over. I get it. You know, we'll see what this guy can do. I'm not familiar with his work, but the fact you still got Johns there is fine. I don't think this is enough, though. You got to make major changes. And I don't think just switching off one guy is a big enough change to fix the problem with this universe, which, by the way, I think is on the right track. People are talking about rebooting. I don't want to reboot. As harsh as I am on the DC Cinematic Universe, Justice League course correct I felt like a lot, and I don't want a reboot. I like Henry Cavill as Superman. I like Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Ezra Miller, he's the Flash. That's fine. I got a couple issues with that, but he was fine. I'm a big Aquaman guy, of course. I'm not truly excited for the Aquaman movie, but in any event, Justice League, I enjoyed it. I recognize its flaws, but I feel like we're going back on the right track, and I think the number one film they need to start off with is a Man of Steel 2. Not just because I'm a Superman fan, but because we need to lead with Superman in this universe. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know what you guys think. Hit me up, dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com, and, of course, the Facebook group and Twitter account. And, guys, I'm already running over my show. I do apologize. I'm going to go through this one last topic real quick. Stepping over to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Chris Hemsworth has said in an interview with IGN that he is looking to play Thor beyond Phase 4. He said, quote, I just literally 2 days ago finished Avengers 4, and that's my contract. My pre-existing contract is done now, so it's kind of like, wow, that's it. 2 or 3 films ago, I was like, okay, a couple more. I was enjoying it, but I was like, I feel a little restricted. And after the last experience with Taki, and actually these last 2 Avengers, I feel like we've reinvented the character a number of times, and even in these next 2, he evolves again. You don't get that opportunity often in a franchise, so I definitely feel a renewed sense of excitement and enthusiasm, and more so than ever, I think. So Chris Hemsworth wants to continue playing Thor beyond Avengers 4. There's been a lot of speculation about what's going to happen to the original Avengers cast after Avengers 4 when their contracts are up. So the good thing is, Mark Ruffalo and Robert Downey Jr., they can play their characters till they're dead, because all their action scenes are CGI characters. Mark Ruffalo turns into a CGI Hulk that does all the action. Robert Downey Jr. turns into a CGI Iron Man who does all the action. These actors don't physically have to be able to do the roles. They have CGI characters to do it. Now the other actors, Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, Scarlett Johansson, Jeremy Renner, they physically do all their stuff, or as much as they can. So their bodies, are going to have a breaking point. Whether they reach that or not, I don't know. But I think they're more likely to end than, say, Mark Ruffalo or Robert Downey Jr. Although Robert Downey Jr. probably asked for way more money to continue on. So in which case, throw him out if you have to. He's a great actor. He's made this role iconic. But sooner or later, he's going to realize this is all he has left. And that's kind of where I think these actors are too. Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, they both recently come out with the last couple of months saying they want to continue to play their characters. I think they've realized now that everything else they've tried to do has not been successful. Look at what Chris Evans has done outside of Captain America. Look what Chris Hemsworth has done outside of Thor. Look what Robert Downey Jr. has done outside of Iron Man. I'm not saying these all aren't great actors, and I've enjoyed several things that they have done outside of that. But this is the gravy train, folks, okay? And you ride that gravy train all the way down Mashed Potato Mountain. And that's what they're trying to do. That's what they should do, okay? There is going to be a breaking point. Whether it's at the end of Avengers 4, I don't know. But if they want to continue to play their characters and they have great storylines to go with it, I'm all for it. But it has to fit the universe. I like each of these actors and the roles they play. But like I said, at some point there's going to be a breaking point. So until that breaking point reaches with them physically or mentally or financially, continue it. That's fine. I'm totally okay with that. But on the other side of it, everyone who listens to me or talks to me knows I was not a fan of Thor Ragnarok. If that's the way the Thor character is going, I'd rather not see it. If that's the way the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going, I'd rather not see it. They become so formulaic. And of course, I still enjoy the films. I still support them. But Doctor Strange felt, meh. I didn't like Thor Ragnarok. I think Black Panther, I just bought my Black Panther tickets last night. I think Black Panther, I'm hoping, will be different. I hope it's one of those instances, kind of like Wonder Woman with Warner Brothers, to where the director put his foot down and made the film he wanted to make and not have too much studio interference. Ryan Coogler is a good director. I want to see him make a superhero film the Ryan Coogler way, and then I think it'll be enjoyable from the previews. I think that's what we're getting, but we'll have to wait and see about that. But okay, guys, I'm done. I know I've run over. I spent too much time complaining about Warner Brothers and the DC Cinematic Universe, but when you see something you love not going the right way or not making the right decisions, it gets you upset. It's just how it is, okay? Fire back. Let me know what you think. Are you excited for Chris Hemsworth comments? What do you think about the state of the MCU as well as the DCEU? Do you think they're both heading in the right directions? Do you want Hamada to do something new or what? Let me know, guys. Facebook group, Twitter account, dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. You can find me personally on Instagram and Twitter, SlimDayspring12. And that's it, guys. I'm going to hope to do a show tomorrow to continue this. And until then, may the Force be with us all.